And now, Rogue Prince from the Crystal Ball. So, you're on your way back from the Marauder camp, the bandit camp that you had just taken out. All of you are kind of lifted in spirits, except it's cold, as the weather has changed for the worse, and the rain is pouring down. The rain, it patters on the ground, through the trees, and thunder rips the skies. Its sister lightning illuminates the dark path ahead of you. The wind picks up, and on the next flash, you happen to notice something in the road. A sack of produce, perhaps, just a amorphous shape, silhouetted in the darkness. As you approach it, you hear a gentle weep, a sob. It is not produce, it is not treasure. Rather, it is a boy, no more than 10 years old. He is covered by a dank hood, and his clothes are ornate, a little torn up, but ornate. He weeps, cold from the weather, a snot forming down his nose. But he seems familiar. And you would have recognized him. What do you all do?
Well, I, for one, wouldn't be caught dead around a snotty-nosed kid. Disgusting. Personally.
I would like to walk over. Walk ahead of the rest of the group, if they don't choose to follow.
I'll come along.
I'll stay in my place. Hell no.
And so, Alisandir stays while Mercy and Anisette march forward to the child. He's curled up on himself, still weeping, and he looks up and acknowledges you. He is an elf with fair blonde hair. It is dirty and sodden from the rain. Why don't we go ahead and make our first rolls for the game, I think.
All right.
I think it's either insight or investigation.
Mm-hmm. That's a 19 from me.
Okay.
12 for me.
Mercy, you're kind of taken up by your duties at the monastery, and you haven't been out much. So it's within reason that you might not notice Anisette. You are all about knowledge. You know everything that's going on recently. Local events. Who's on the wanted posters. And you recognize this as the missing prince of the Elven Kingdom.
She leans forwards and pulls some bandages back from her eyes and looks down at him and just says with this morbid fascination, "Now that is interesting."
He recoils a little bit as he spies the grotesqueness behind your band-aids.
That makes her smile a little bit.
He's put off by her voice and starts to almost backpedal on his feet and his hands. He's not stood up. He's kind of on his rear, backing away from you.
Hey, it's alright. Don't worry about it. She's not gonna bother you. Are you alright? Do you need any assistance?
He kind of whimpers. And I don't know where I am. Who are you? Where am I?
You're on the road to Ebonite. We're just a group of adventurers trying to take out some marauders who are messing with another local village. Are you trying to get somewhere?
Ebonite? He seems confused. He's misplaced. He's not where he's supposed to be.
I will chime in and say, oh, he's very much not where he's supposed to be. What was your name, child?
So he looks at you, fearful, and he looks back at Mercy. I'm Gellamine.
I thought as much. You're the prince everybody's looking for, yes?
He nods sheepishly. Everybody's looking for me? He says.
Oh, yes. Everybody is looking for you. Now that is interesting. You don't know what's been happening in your absence.
Gellamine retreats back in on himself and becomes more timid.
Now, don't worry, my friend. We are not going to hurt you. My friend here is very nice, and you can trust her. The other two of us are pleasant enough.
So he looks back up at Mercy. And he says, My father, I'm tired and it's cold. Can we go somewhere, please?
Yes, why don't we... She pulls out a blanket from her pack. She's like kneeling now on eye level with him. Very obviously the workings of someone who works with children often. And she's kneeling in front of him, and she takes out a blanket and wraps it around him. Why don't you come get upon my horse and we ride back to Ebonite? We can discuss all of this in an inn, in a comfortable room.
You say that, and you remember that your horse is not with you.
Oh, that's right.
Your horse is in Ebonite. You've dismounted
I forgot.
to sneak up on the marauders, and he looks past you at Alisandir.
Well, we're on our way back to our horses. And then we can get you back to safety, to a town.
He will nod, and with your assistance, stand back up. You promise? Nobody will hurt me? He looks at Anisette.
I promise I won't hurt you.
Mercy's gaze, like, darkens a little bit, not looking at Anisette, just looking off. And just nods. No one will hurt you while I'm around for sure.
Anisette, are you being sincere in this moment?
Yes, I don't know how much that would help because of her whole vibe. But she is being sincere.
Gellamine kind of nods at this, and he will stand up and kind of clings towards Mercy, just out of the fact of being the more approachable figure. And he looks past, once again, at Alisandir, and he says, "Oh, you're pretty."
At first, Ellison looks a little shocked. But then, pleasantly, she smiles. She loves to be recognized for what she really is. A diamond in the rough.
So I take it from here, you all continue on your trek to Ebonite?
God, I hope so. It's cold.
Yes, we must be on our way.
So, on your trip over, Gellamine will look at you, Alisandir, and he will say, "Are you from the deserts? I've heard of people like you."
Oh, I see. You're rather well educated. Yes, I am from the beautiful rolling hills of sands. Solrath, to be specific.
That's so cool. I've always wanted to go.
Oh, it's a lovely place. Hopefully when you're returned, you could vacation there sometime.
Mm-hmm.
I will maybe take a quick aside to Mercy while Asan's talking to him. I'll lean into her and go, "So you're aware that all of the High Elven kingdoms have been looking for this boy. There is quite the political stir around his disappearance. I find it strange we find him alone on the road. I believe many had assumed he'd been taken.
I was not all aware of the political meanings and of his disappearance, but for now I want to make sure that this child is safe and taken care of and is no longer afraid.
Certainly.
Maybe once he has calmed down, we can deduce what has happened.
My only worry in that regard is that if everyone is looking for him, we may run into some danger if we are attempting to return him. For example, I could imagine some folk thinking to get rid of us and take him in to claim some sort of reward for themselves. Political rivals finding him accompanied by strange folk. Perhaps if we keep him better hidden than he currently is, a disguise or something to hide his face would be helpful.
I was unaware it was that serious.
That's the impression I get.
I think we can make a disguise happen. I keep a small sum of makeup and costume wear on my person, and we could use something like that to disguise him, I'm sure.
Perfect. Resourceful as always.
Thank you. She does a little bow.
Is that all?
I think so. Are we in agreement then? We should disguise him? I'm assuming he already has a hooded cloak.
Yes, he's wearing a kind of tattered but ornate, basically a sheet, is what he has.
Mercy will adjust the blanket upon his shoulders and clip it into place. Young sir, why don't we, before we go into town, I want to make sure we don't run into any trouble. Would you be alright if we play a little game of dress up? Make you look just a little bit different so we can pass into town without any prying eyes.
Don't we want people to help us? And you would also know that right now, at this time of day and in the rain, you're not getting makeup to stick, and you're not being able to see makeup sticking. It is dark, and it is wet. And he is dirty.
Darling, not everyone is worthy of being trusted. Here, take my cloak. It will suffice to cover your ornateness. Anyone can recognize royalty, I promise. And with that, Ellison takes off her coat of many fashions and puts it over the blanket on his shoulders, so he's extra warm. And it shifts into more similar commoners' clothes.
Ooh, this smells nice. You smell nice.
Oh my gosh, you are just darling. I don't like children, but you... Oof, you are different.
He smiles at you.
I think Mercy will also just tie his hair back a little bit. Keep it from getting so wet, tie it back into a ponytail.
And so, you escort the prince back into Ebon Night. The streets flicker with light from wrought iron lantern posts, and an orange hue casts shadows on the party as they enter the bustling tavern. The wooden door creaks, and your ears are suddenly filled with cheers and jeers of boisterous men and a local band of halflings who sing an old folk tale. Nobody pays much attention to you as you shake the rain off and hang up your cloaks. You find and order yourselves a table for you and the child, and hopefully now you can hear his story. And if I could get a perception check from the party.
Oh my god! I rolled a nat 20. Oh my god.
Let's go! I rolled a 19!
I rolled an 18.
My first roll of the game's a nat 20!
Let's go. We are
We
on
have
it.
such good eyes.
That's a 21.
That's a 22.
And so, all of you are keen-eyed and spot within the corner a wall of posters. There is a wanted poster for the band of marauders that you've taken out, for various horse thieves, and finally, the camera pans down and lands on the face of young Gelamine. There is a large sum reward for his return to the kingdom.
Why don't we take this food and drink upstairs? Somewhere a little bit more private. I know it's very loud down here.
But I want to eat, Gelamine protests.
Mercy looks at the other two who are also looking at the wanted board.
Perhaps we take some food to go. I'll say this to Gelamine. I'll say it's very loud down here, and we want to hear your story properly. And with how strange my appearance is, we'll get stares.
So the rain outside has only gotten worse. There are, you would know, rooms upstairs here that he would offer, and perhaps you would be able to find somewhere just a little side room for meetings and such where you may be awarded a little bit of privacy if you ask the right people.
On that lovely nat 20 roll that Elisander got for us, do we know the right people?
So, tucked away, there is a small, basically a talking pit, where it's like a booth with a round table in the center. And it's nice and tucked away deep in the corner with drapes that you can fold over. And the only thing is that you basically have to rent the table from the barkeep.
That works for me. Mercy will go over and request the table and pay the fare.
Mm-hmm. It is a few silver for the table, for its seclusion, and assuming you have the money, you just pay it and move yourselves over. And when you enter, the boisterousness and the loudness of both the rain and the bards and the patrons die down a little bit, and you are left to yourselves and a waiter who asks for your orders.
Mercy will get just a local hearty stew, and will turn to the prince and ask what he wants.
The prince will ask for a kind of like an upclass expensive meal, because that's what he's used to.
Mm-hmm.
Something like the analog in this world to a filet mignon, you know? Where he wants the class that he does prefer.
Mm-hmm. Mercy will ask if they have something like that.
The waiter perks up an eyebrow and will... I'll go ask what I can get for you, and we'll see what we can do about that. I'll figure it out. What's everybody else getting? And drinks too, if you want them.
I would like some hot tea with lemon and honey, accompanied with a small cake of any kind, I don't expect much, and perhaps a biscuit or two.
All right.
Something warm and wet that fills the stomach. I'm not picky.
So we're getting you a stew. So 2 stews, a filet mignon, and it was a warm tea, A couple of biscuits.
And a piece of cake.
Some honey, I think you asked for. A cake, that was it.
Yes.
All right. Any drinks?
I will also take a tea.
Something warm and wet that fills the stomach.
And so, the waiter retreats, and you are left alone in... There is a nice candle in the center of the table, along with an overhanging chandelier. There is a light here, and we are finally able to see our party. If we would like to go around the table and describe our characters to each other. I'll start with Gellamine. So Gellamine is a fair-skinned elf boy. He looks to be around 10 years old. So he's a very young elf. He has obviously long pointy ears and short, dirty blonde hair with piercing green eyes. His nose is red from the cold and the rain, and it appears as if he hasn't really slept in a few days.
Mercy is a fairly tall, fairly well built out tiefling woman with pink skin and eyes that are completely sky blue, no iris, no pupil. The entire sclera is just a soft shade of blue. It makes it kind of difficult to read her expression. She has delicate white eyebrows and curling white hair, as well as not just two like most tieflings, but 3 horns, 2 at the side and 1 in the front, that curl as they go up. She wears dainty but powerful monk's robes with flowing white and pink and blue silks. She takes off her hood from the rain, and she's a very beautiful woman with red lips, fair skin, nice jewelry, and she just sits patiently waiting for the food and making sure Gellamine is comfortable.
Alisand is a red fire genasi with golden piercing eyes and smoky ashy hair that almost changes with her moods, and sometimes, unfortunately, the weather. She is adorned with a lot of gold and red jewelry, covered in rubies. Everything about her kind of screams wealth, prestige. Instead of typically wearing a blazing dress, like she often would, she is wearing more still red, orange, yellows, but equestrian style clothing. It seemed like she didn't have much outfits for adventuring, but she did have this. Minus the helmet. That's tacky.
To contrast Anisette's graceful and regal companions, you see a woman who is sort of shabby and sullen, a sort of brown and green, but the brown and green of dirt and trod ground. A robe of that color sits loosely over her shoulders, more of an overcoat, but that sort of loose flowing robe, adorned with specks of dirt all over. She wears this coat, a pair of worn traveler's boots, and under that, and the only other thing she wears, is bandages wrapped over almost every inch of her body. They are a sort of sagey color, having been soaked with a balm of some sort, that also wafts off of her. You can smell this sort of sickly medicine smell on her at all times. Around her left arm is wrapped some sort of dark purplish appendage of some creature, some sort of tendril that has been coiled around her arm and that occasionally twitches and writhes when nobody's looking, when you catch it out of the corner of your eye. Under these bandages, when she pulls them back, or they slide out of place, you just see skin that is either burnt or frostbitten to the point of being almost unrecognizable as skin. It is deep purple and red and destroyed. And that is the case all over her body, except when she pulls the bandages away from her eyes and you see her perfect emerald eyes that glare out and pierce through everything she examines.
Fantastic. Kelamine looks at all of you, waiting for the waiter to come back with whatever delicacy he's able to scrounge up. And he says, I really appreciate all of you. And I'm really quite hungry. I'm starving. And he will look at all of you.
So, may I ask, how is it you came to be on our path tonight?
I'm not sure. You see, I was in bed with my father. I'm sure you know the king.
Mm-hmm.
And he was reading me a bedtime story before trance. 3 bad men came in. And they hurt Papa. I screamed. I closed my eyes. And the sounds had changed. And my screams, they echoed now. I heard them come back to me. And I was in a forest. It was silent. There was nothing. Not even the animals made a noise. It was just me alone. I walked for, I think, 2 moons. Only wearing what I am wearing now, really. And I came across the road. And I sat there. And I waited for anyone to come. Can I get an insight from anybody who would like to insight this child?
Yeah, for sure. Bad 6.
16.
Ellison just trust him.
There is... Anisette, you think that there is something deeper there that he's not sharing, whether you wish to pry or not.
Yes. I will sort of look to Mercy, look back at him, and just say, is there anything else you can tell us? It could be useful. We're trying to return you, so anything you could share with us that might let us know of further dangers that could be there, or something that could help us to return you would be useful. I know the feeling of being displaced suddenly. It's a troublesome one. Any details you could provide would be helpful.
There's almost a tear in his eyes. I swear one of the bad men, they were familiar, but I'm not sure. It was dark. And it was confusing. And I'm not sure. I just want my father back.
Familiar how? Did you recognize his face or his voice?
Gellamine is sobbing at this point.
Good lord, Anisette, can you not just hold off on the questions? It's a child. It's literally a child. He's a precious little baby.
Yes, sorry. I didn't mean to make you overwrought. I apologize. And there is this look of, like, she maybe didn't even realize he was crying until you said something.
Don't worry, child. We'll get you back to your father. They're there. Mercy just wraps an arm around him and kind of pets his hair.
You would all know that his father is dead.
Mercy may be a liar.
I forgot. She's not updated on current events. Her town was under siege. They haven't gotten any intel in
I'm
weeks.
just saying, he's kind of a big deal.
Mercy says that and then looks at them and they're like, no. Just shaking hands. She's like, ah. Ah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is he like the only prince?
Yes.
He's the only heir.
He's the only heir.
So are we in a queen state right now, or is this the king with us right now?
King's dead as hell.
The king's dead.
You would know that the coronation is in a few weeks.
Okay.
If the prince is not returned by the coronation, it would go to the king regent,
Who's the king?
Of course.
which would be his uncle.
Of course.
Okay, thanks.
And I'm right in thinking. I mean, I'd say I'd think back, but I think I might actually just remember it because I can recall anything I've seen in the past month. What were the...
Let's go keen mind.
Keen mind, there we are. What is, the, general, like, what does the populace know about what happened? I remember that something about how he was found in his bed full of arrows, I think it was.
Yes. The king was found in his bed, filled with arrows, and the prince was missing. It was thought that whoever orchestrated it came in, shot the king, and took the prince as either a ransom or leverage for some political gain.
So why would they just leave him? Is there anything else we can ask him?
I don't know. He's crying. Maybe be sympathetic.
He crying. Yeah,
Maybe hold off on telling him his father's dead and so on and so forth.
Mercy shoots you guys a look of like, we'll discuss this later in our room when he's asleep.
And so, not long after, the waiter comes back in with all of your meals. He offers the stews and the drinks and the cakes and the biscuits. And for the prince, he brings a nice venison meal, a hearty venison steak, topped with a little bit of churned butter and garnishes. You look at this meal and you're like, that's gonna cost a little bit.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a little expensive.
Suck
I'll take
that it's
that.
Mercy's problem, you know what I mean?
Does Ansett have money?
Dang.
Not really. Okay.
I have a little.
Hold on, guys. I have a very important question. What flavor is the cake?
Oh my god. This is so important. What flavor is the
What is
cake?
it?
Hang
what
on.
have you got?
What's season in it? What's in season?
Where did
Let's
the steak
see.
come from? What's the name of the farm?
What's the
The
name of
woods.
the hunter that shot it? Guys, I need these world building details. It is a strawberry gingerbread
I was
cake.
hoping it was strawberries. Yippee!
We were all
That
hoping it was
actually
strawberry.
sounds good.
And so you all are able to delect in your meals, and the prince, having not eaten in days, basically obliterates his plate. It is gone. And at that, he yawns and looks up to you, Mercy, with eyes of it's bedtime.
Aww. So, did we already procure a room in the city? Did we have a place where we're going for the night, or do we need to find one?
The tavern here
Yeah.
is an inn.
Yeah.
So upstairs there are rooms, and you would have already bought them when you came in.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Mercy will, if he wishes, offer to carry him upstairs to bed.
He will accept. And so Mercy stands up and takes the child into her arms and caresses him towards his room, where she lays him down in the bed. He will look at you expectantly and give me a wisdom check.
Alright. Any specific wisdom skill or just wisdom?
I'm going to say just wisdom.
Alright.
So what is your result?
I'm rolling so bad. My dice.
I will let you have insight for this because you're trying to read him.
I think
you know?
Pookie Bear
Yeah.
wants a bedtime story. I don't know how much we need to read into that.
I agree. I don't think I need an insight, but I'm rolling so bad. Insight is 6. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
You have no idea what this kid wants.
I should have.
I was looking for like a 10.
No. Me not having an idea of what he wants prompts me to ask what he
You
wants.
could just ask
So-
him.
Is there anything I can get for you, dear?
Will you read to me? He says.
Yes, of course.
And at that point, you remember that the last thing that he did with his father was a bedtime story.
If you read to him, you're gonna get shot full of arrows.
We'll see. It's the Disney. Every mentor must die. Yeah, I'll read him a story.
Okay.
Do we have any books on this, or am I just going? No, I think Mercy's done this enough that we'll read him a story.
Tell me a story.
Alright. Once there was a flock of doves who lived by the water's edge, by the sea out to the east. They were happy and off on their own. They would play in the water and wash their beautiful feathers and fly across the skies. And one day, someone not quite like them showed up. Instead of a dove, a white raven came into their grounds, into their territory. And the raven was a little bit different from everyone else, didn't quite fit in. They didn't let the raven play with them. They didn't go out on flights with it. They just kind of left it alone. Until one day, a hunter came out to the seaside, looking for meat. And he saw the flock of doves splashing in the water and flying on the cliffs, happy as could be, not noticing.
And so, the prince, listening to your story, gently fades off into the only sleep that he's gotten, for real, in about 2 days. And he kind of sinks into the warm bed that he's afforded at the kindness of Mercy, listening to a story, perhaps a memory, a comfort to him, as it is the last memory of his father he will ever have. And he dozes off into bed with that comfort in his mind. And so, Mercy, you walk back to your group.
So, here's your first thought when you see a crying child. You could just be like me and ignore it, but no, you decide to go up to it and be the creepiest motherfucker I've ever heard in my life. Literally, your teeth are just smiling and you remove these greasy, ugly bandages. Oh my god, no wonder the kid cried. Can you really blame him? Oh my... We need to give you child rearing training. Or something, maybe people training. I fear that you are just really out of your element in public.
Anisette is just laughing as she's chuckling to herself. She's loving this.
It's not a laughing matter. We talk to people all the time. You should be good at it.
I ask questions. How are we supposed to help the child if we don't know where he came from or what happened to him?
I'm not
We
saying...
need to find out more.
I'm not saying you can't ask questions. I'm saying don't be a total fucking creep about it. Is that so hard?
Well, yes.
Listen.
You've seen my face before. As much as I reveal. You think a child won't be scared of this? I look like I live under their bed.
Honestly, that is a fair point. You do look like the monster I imagined under my bed.
I was the monster you imagined under your bed.
No, you were not. Don't say things like that. Please do not piss me off.
You walk into this room hearing... You were able to pin them down because you've heard Elisandir
I've heard this fight before.
laying into Anisette.
Mercy comes into the room with like a very different energy and shuts the door and locks it behind her. I think grabs a towel or something and shoves it under the door and silently and turns to you guys with this grim resolve expression on her face. Why would his kidnappers have let him go?
That question's been on my mind as well. Were you aware that his father is no longer with us, let's say?
I was not. Moonscar has been under siege for weeks. We haven't gotten any new information.
They found him... I found it interesting when he mentioned the last thing he remembers is being in bed with his father, because that's where his father was killed. The perpetrators that broke in shot him in his bed, and the prince was nowhere to be found. That is mostly what we know. So, how he came to be in the forest, I have no clue. Perhaps if it was his uncle,
Yes.
then I could imagine one being willing to shoot a brother, but not their nephew.
Yes.
But that brings us a much larger problem if that is the case, because that means we can't simply take him to the royal family and entrust them with his safety, because...
No, we cannot.
Ironic that if we are found with the boy by the royal family, having not returned him, we can't exactly say that we didn't trust the royal family not to kill the prince or have him whisked away, because that seems treasonous. So we're in a very delicate situation here.
Yes, we've found ourselves in quite the predicament.
Perhaps if it is his uncle who did the thing, of course, maybe he needed a reason for the people to rally with him. So if you kill the only people between you and the throne, everyone looks towards you as the murderer. But if you were to leave one alive, a child who would likely die or get lost in the woods alone. Then you can rally up the people to find them, so show how caring you are. But in all reality, you're just waiting for the kid to croak. I find that likely as well.
That's what I'm afraid of.
That is an interesting insight, certainly.
But, you know, offhand, sleep spell, throw a kid in the woods, doesn't have to be his uncle. It makes sense, but it doesn't have to be. Not all
That's true.
royals are assholes. Just me, specifically.
Just most of them.
Well, he did say that one of his father's murderers was familiar.
That's what makes me suspicious of the uncle. But
Precisely.
there are a few members of the royal family. One of them could certainly be untrustworthy. The uncle makes for a solid suspect, however.
Mm-hmm.
What shall our plan be? If we don't know that we can trust the royal family, is there? Can I think into like politics and like who is currently in the royal family, and like is there a member of the royal family that would seem trustworthy to me, like somebody we could almost certainly wouldn't benefit from the prince's disappearance and the king's death, who we might be able to trust with this.
So I think rolling off of Aniset's knowledge of current events and just generally knowing what's going on, Aniset would know that the principality has the king, the queen, Gelamine's mother, the aunt and uncle, and then other various people in the royal family, including, grandmother and grandfathers and first aunts, second aunts, the general royal family thing where you do occasionally have a bunch of people who you marry off for political gain or who aren't in line enough for the throne to become a viable successor. In the case of principalities like these, where elves are functionally ageless and live for thousands of years, eventually they basically reach their term limit, where they have become old enough and have ruled for long enough that it simply steps down to the next generation to continue the legacy without having the royalty actually die.
And I'm right in thinking the queen, she wouldn't necessarily inherit any power when it went down to her son. Her position remains pretty similar in a sense, in that, like, I will say to the others as well, like, perhaps his mother, I don't know that she would benefit from her husband's death and her son's disappearance so much as the rest of the royal family. We could at least approach, investigate, see if we can suss out whether or not she might be involved. I could do some research. I'm sure that I could find information, recent political events that might point towards somebody that we could take him to and trust him with.
Would my mother's have a well of information like that? Do we have a library or anything like that Aniset could research at?
What exactly are you trying to research?
I'm thinking she would just... I don't know if she's dead sure yet, but one of her instincts is to pore through books, and I think looking at, like, going somewhere where I might be able to find, like, what were some recent political events? What are some transcripts of official political stuff that's been happening? Because I just want to see if on record there's a reason why the Queen might argue with, might have wanted the king dead, or might have wanted to, raise her brother-in-law in power. Like,
I actually have a question regarding that. Is this like how some monarchies were, where if the man died, the wife would still remain in power because she would marry the next, like, man of power? Like, it would be frequent for people to give their wives to their brothers or sisters after passing.
If they wanted to, they could do that, but it's not like a custom or anything, and the uncle, the King Regent, already has a wife.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Anisette, as far as what you are looking for, I will say, as a sage, I also have the researcher background. Right.
Which says that I know where to find information if I don't know it.
Okay, cool. That's actually really useful, because now I don't have to find out what to make you roll for this.
Hell yeah.
For political things and recent events, you reckon that the best person to ask would actually be the steward of Ebonite.
All right, I'll share that with the group. Perhaps I can ask the steward, seek an audience with him, get information. I can't immediately think of an excuse as to why I might want to know these things, because it might be a bit suspicious if I come in and start asking certain questions. I could say I'm writing an article. Perhaps pretend to be some sort of scholar wanting to write a piece on times of trouble.
Perhaps even Elise could come along and use your political pressure and your appearance to have them ask less questions.
I don't mind. I mean, honestly, we could just say I was researching other royal families to see how they run things. The only unrealistic part is that'd be around someone like you, Anisette.
And yet you are, so it appears we're stuck together.
She could always be a hired tutor.
First of all, my hired tutor was very handsome.
Oh.
And even they have like a regal aura about them. But nonetheless, I can lie. It'll be embarrassing, but I can do it.
However will you recover? Either way, shall we do it in the morning?
I think that is wise, yes. I do have another question, DM. How... Because we're in the Elven Kingdom, correct? Or are we on the... Yes.
You're in the Elven Kingdom.
How far are we from the capital city, where the king would live and where the coronation would happen?
Let me look.
And I feel like that is our danger radius.
I'll say now, maybe we have somebody sleep in the same room as the prince, just in case somebody tries to, somebody spotted him and raised the alarm. Somebody tries to come in through the window and get him or something like that.
I'm definitely gonna go. In fact, thinking about that, Mercy is gonna go check on the prince.
I'm certainly gonna suggest Mercy is the one who stays with him, because I don't think he wants this creepy motherfucker sleeping in the same room as him.
No, perhaps not.
Everyone knows Anisette belongs under the bed, as once mentioned.
We should likely take watches, though. I can take first watch over the prince if someone can take second. And we'll stay in the room with him.
Could we not just do 2 watches, as he trances for 4 hours and not 8? I volunteer to sleep. And with that, she leaves to go get a room.
Anisette, is there anything else about the current political nature of our kingdom that I should know about before I keep watch?
Not that springs to mind, but I'll let you know if there's anything else.
If need be, my village that we hope to rid of the marauders is not a part of the Elven Kingdom. Obviously, people would still search there, but it is less likely that they would have as much sway. We would be more protected.
It may be more difficult, true. Thinking on your motivations, I imagine you wouldn't want to bring more danger to your village, however. I don't know that it would be the case, but if there is some magical means through which they could find the boy, then keeping him moving might be more the case. How are there are like groups of wizards that work for the royal family, yeah?
Certainly.
Yeah.
There would be many court wizards and archmages and whatever little magic schools there are. Nothing to the scale of what there is in, like, say, the magic school in Carlicasing Sleepward, but certainly magic.
I would certainly be wary of the fact that some diviner might be sensing his location. But that is a bit of a gamble, whether that is true or not. You're right that politically and practically he would be safer out of harm's way in Moonscar, but it's a toss-up, you could say.
We can all discuss that later in the morning.
Do you then retire?
As I go to my bed, I just lean into Anisette's doorway and go, don't let the bed bugs bite. And then close the door and leave again.
You as well.
And so, you go back to your room with the prince. Do you sleep, or are you staying awake to watch?
I'm staying awake.
Can you give me a constitution check to not fall asleep?
18.
And so you are awake and vigil, and it stays calm for a few hours. You reckon you got to the tavern at around 11 o'clock, and by the time you were going to sleep, it was around 12:30. And the prince probably went to sleep around 12, say. So you spent about 30 minutes talking to your companions. So it is around 3 a.m., and nothing's happened. And the weight of the watch is starting to weigh down on your eyes, when suddenly you hear a shrill scream from inside the room with you. It is the prince. Everybody not in the room, I need a perception check.
21.
13.
A 21 and a 13. We will resolve that in a few minutes. Firstly, Mercy. In the room, at the foot of the bed, approaching the prince, there are 3 shadows in the form of cloaked elves. They are closing on him slowly, and you will get a surprise round. But first, I'm going to resolve Anisette and Elisande. Elisande, you hear the scream, but you're quite cozy in bed. Is it really worth getting up to deal with some drunkard making a fuss?
Nah, it's pretty damn cozy. Me.
I will not stop you from getting up to investigate, but it is up to you.
Okay, does the scream sound like a kid's, or does it sound like an adult who pissed their pants in the night or something?
It could either be a child or a woman.
Fuck.
And, Elisande, before you get out of bed, we're going to cut to Anisette. You hear the scream,
She is a light sleeper anyway. Those sort of burning green eyes flicker open, and she immediately gets up and begins to sprint into the other room.
So you burst out into the hallway, and the first thing that you notice is a silver butterfly fluttering through the air. Odd, but you must focus. You burst out of the room into the hallway and through the door, where you spy 3 shadows in the form of cloaked elves. The shadows are at the foot of the bed, approaching the prince, and in the corner is Mercy. Now, Elisande, you're slow to get out of bed,
Yeah. But I do get up.
and you come into the hallway. But nobody told you, nor did you care to learn, which room was actually the prince's.
Sounds about right, actually.
Roll me a d6, please.
A D6. Okay. 5.
Before you is an elf, shit-faced drunk. His pants are gone. The poor guy did not even make it to the bed.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, we will begin our first round of combat. Everyone roll initiative. Mercy, you get a surprise round.
8.
Oh, I rolled a 9 for initiative.
I have a 13.
Mercy, you spring up from your chair, and before you are these 3 shadowy elves approaching the prince.
As my free action, I'm going to shout to the prince, "Get behind me." I'm going to move up to them, and for my action, I'm going to use a key point for Flurry of Blows, and I'm going to attack with my staff first. That's a 10.
The attack with your staff goes wide as you are panic-stricken, and the fear begins to build inside of you.
Okay, we're going to take these 2 unarmed attacks. 16 to hit.
A 16 hits.
Okay, I'm gonna use my extra necrotic damage, and you see Mercy, before she goes to hit, pulls a white ornate mask over her face. It's almost like a mix of a plague doctor's mask and like a dancer's ballet mask if they were wearing one to portray an animal or a masquerade. It has these delicate details and is the face of some white bird, like a raven or a crow. And it has curling feathers up off it. It's very beautiful, and it slips on her head with a ribbon tied to the back. And as she goes to hit this man, the edges of her fist turn black. Good, very good. 7 bludgeoning damage and 4 necrotic damage.
Okay, so as you go to punch this creature, this thing, your hands turn into this inky blackness, and when they connect, you don't feel quite the connection that you were looking for there.
I'll look over to Anisette as she enters the room. They can't be touched. Use magic.
Got it, she says.
Okay, I'm gonna roll for my last hit. That misses.
And now, Gelamine, fearing for his life, jumps off of the bed and behind Mercy into the corner, seeking protection from the strange aberrations before him. And those strange aberrations then sink into the darkness around the room and vanish from your eyesight. So, Mercy, you feel from the side as a cold, dark, elven hand pierces through your chest, and it barely misses your heart. And a second one appears out of the darkness right next to you, and it attempts to reach around and slash at Gelamine, but you're luckily in the way, and it cannot get past. But this icy cold feeling grazes your arm as you protect the boy. Anisette, another figure appears before you, and its arm reaches into your chest to once again try to grasp your life force.
Yeah.
But it fails to pierce through your bandages as if something repels it.
Oh. What? Okay, go on.
And that brings us to Elison's turn.
Mm-hmm.
Elison, roll another d6.
4.
You come into a room where a couple are sleeping
Fuck.
together. They are startled and throw a pillow at you so they can go back to sleep. I will let you get one more attempt.
Oh, I can roll again?
Yeah.
Yippee! I got a 6.
You burst into this room and you almost run into Anisette as you see like 3 of these shadow things, and one of them's trying to reach into Anisette's chest. And the other 2, they're flanking Mercy. They're trying to get to the prince.
So, you see, now I'm kind of like, fuck, because I got what I wanted, but it wasn't what I thought. This is kind of a shame.
I will say that you spent your action and your movement to get here, so you have a bonus action left.
Yeah, I honestly don't think I do have a single bonus action spell. I'll try to hit something with my puny little dagger. I got a 17.
A 17 does hit.
Okay. I got a 1.
So you take your knife and you reach over Anisette's shoulder and attempt to kind of slash this shadow's neck, and a bit of inky darkness kind of flings off of it.
Ew!
That brings us actually to Anisette's turn. Anisette, are you wearing any armor?
Yes, she has light leather armor that is woven. She has her bandages mostly around it, so it's not obvious at first, but she does have light armor.
You would have taken off your armor to sleep.
Oh.
You are not
Right.
wearing it right now, and you did not bother to
Yeah,
put it
that's
on.
totally fair.
So you will not gain the armor bonus.
You little...
Yeah, that's alright.
That is some peak DM shit.
She is gonna... Does this thing have a face to look into as it tries to kill me?
It's weird, because you see the cloak and the helmet of what would be armor on this elven figure, but the face is obscured, as if it can't really be observed. Like an inky darkness, a void that you stare into and it gives nothing back.
I'm going to stare into that void and say, she can't think of a one-liner, and neither can I, but she's just gonna stare into it, and she reaches out that tendril on her hand, and it sort of unravels into the air. There's a high-pitched screech, like some creature from the deep breaching at the surface, and a glowing green orb of light pulsates and twists and whirls into existence in her palm and splits off into 4, and these sort of hissing balls of light that almost look like there's an eye in there somewhere screech to the corners of the room, and I'm going to cast Dancing Lights and put a light in each corner of the room and just totally illuminate the bedroom.
Fucking radical.
Smart.
Then I'm going to use my bonus action to try and stab this thing in the chest.
Alright.
That is 21 to hit.
A 21 certainly hits as you make contact with this thing.
Does it seem more tangible now that it's in the light?
No.
Okay.
You figure you're not making enough light for it to matter.
Okay. That is 2 points of piercing damage.
And that brings us back around to Mercy. It is finally your actual turn.
Yeah, we're just gonna go for a normal hit with my staff for him.
Okay.
11 to hit.
It's so close. But it stops your hand with a wreath of darkness. A barrier that you're not able to penetrate.
Yeah, 17 plus 5.
So you're finally able to make contact with your offhand. You're fighting desperately, not only for your life, but for the prince's.
7 bludgeoning damage.
That brings us back around to Gelamine, who is going to once again retreat into himself and hide behind Mercy. that brings us back around to the shadows, who are now unable to hide from you, as there are lights brightly illuminating each corner of the room. It's odd. They themselves don't cast shadows because they are the shadows. Mercy, one is going to move away from you, so you are awarded an opportunity attack, if you would like to take it.
Yes.
I believe you swing wide as it ducks and goes back around to form up near Anisette and Elisande. And so, Anisette, the shadowed elf before you, it looks like it almost draws a sword. A dark blade. You almost hear the echoes of a rasp as it swings on you. Does a 17 hit?
Quick question.
Yes.
Are they now trying to kill us and have gone away from going for the prince, or is one of them still trying to grab him?
One of them is fighting Mercy to get to the prince, and the other has come near you to help its associate in
Killing us.
killing Anisette and Elisande.
Well, what I'm going to... A 17 would hit, but what I'm going to do is cast Silvery Barbs. And how this works is that she says this there's a word that can't quite be heard, this sort of eldritch power word that she just sort of says, and you see the sort of room around the attacking shadow shudder, like reality doesn't quite like what she's just said.
You see this shadow, this visage, this facsimile of an elf, and it looked like its strike was going to be true, like it would have been your dispatch. You cause it to stutter. It's thrown off a little, but not enough that it doesn't strike you still.
Yeah, okay.
So you will take 6 necrotic damage.
Alright then.
And your strength score is reduced by 1 point.
Uh-oh. Okay.
The slash across your chest is icy cold, and it seeps into your veins.
When that happens, she looks down and just goes, "Now that's interesting," as she recoils with pain.
And so, the other one near you is going to swing for Elisande. Elisande, it is going to attempt what it could not do to Mercy, and it is going to reach into your chest and try to extinguish the fire that is in your heart.
Okay.
Does a 14 hit?
It does.
And so, a shadowy arm reaches into your chest and grabs where you can feel your beating heart. And you can feel it slow as you take 6 points of necrotic damage, and your strength score is reduced by 3.
It's fine. We didn't use that anyway.
And so Mercy, seeing as it could not grab your heart, it draws its blade, an inky darkness dripping off of its edge, and it swings at you to enter combat. And it does not strike you as you block it with your staff. And that brings us back around to Elisande. Elisande, there is a chill in your heart, and you do not like being cold.
Yeah, I don't. In front of me, like, where is everyone?
So, you are just behind Anisette in the door, and just in front of you is a shadow, and diagonally from you is a shadow. One is attacking you, and one is attacking Anisette. Past that is a bed, and past the bed is Gelamine.
Okay.
Gelamine is being protected by Mercy, who's in front of him, like there's a corner, and in front of Mercy is a shadow.
Okay. Is there a way for me to get in a place where I can cast a spell within a line hitting at least the shadow in front of me and Anisette, like the two there?
Sure, and you're not leaving the threat in range, so that won't.
Okay. Well, I'd like to go there. And Elisan's eyes glow, and her hair begins to really puff with smoke and rise above her as her spellbook that's nearly floating in her hand flips through pages. And with her other hand facing towards the shadows, a 30-foot long flame, absolute just roaring fire, shoots through the shadows. And they have a chance to make a dex check to dodge it.
So one of them is unable to slink away, but the other becomes amorphous and kind of sinks into the ground.
Well,
how much damage does it do?
It does 19 damage to the one who failed to dodge. Then the other one still gets blistered by the flames, as much as a shadow can, for 9 damage.
Amazing.
And I did check this spell. Unlike Burning Hands, it doesn't light other objects on fire.
Good.
All right. I believe there's not really much I can do.
And so, for the one that failed to move out of the way,
You can see that it is unhappy about what has happened, and a large portion of its shadow is gone. And now, instead of having legs anymore, it's just the torso up of what would have been an elf. The other is able to dodge out of the way, but not without taking some of the force.
and that brings us back to Anisette.
That juddering, reality not being happy from silvery barbs is going to reverberate back into her arm, and she reaches out at the one that had taken the most damage, and this crackling pulse of energy arcs into her hand out of nowhere and shoots this blast of undefinable dark energy across the room, and I'm gonna fire an Eldritch Blast at the one that had taken the most damage there. Normally that would be disadvantaged because I'm threatened, but because of silvery barbs, that's gonna cancel out. That's a 7. Sorry, another thing. Dancing Lights is a concentration spell, so when I took damage, I should have rolled for it to make sure it didn't drop. 16 plus 3, so 19.
I think you pass, and the lights flicker for a moment before they resolve. They're fine.
I'll just take another stab real quick as a bonus action at the one that's next to me. 21.
Yeah,
Okay.
it hits.
3 points of slashing, or piercing, sorry.
Your Eldritch Blast, you charge it up and attempt to strike towards, but there's some kind of magical interference. It arcs out of your fingertips, but not as a strike. More like static. And that brings us to Mercy's turn.
Okay, I'm going to try and hit again with my staff. Please hit. 14?
A 14 hits.
Thank God. Okay. Max damage. 7 bludgeoning damage, and then 11 fire damage. You see as Mercy snarls, and her own shadow being blasted against the wall by the dancing lights, her horns seem to grow longer, and her tail looks sharper. Her eyes even glow faintly white, and you just see as her fist turns white and searing as she hits this thing with fire damage and lights it on fire.
Hell yeah.
Just the shadow, not the room.
An important detail.
Okay.
And this is the one closest to me.
Yes. So, you strike at this creature. Both the flames and the hit are making a noticeable effect. And you said that it's catching on fire?
Yep, it'll take that damage on its turn.
Okay. And so it licks up this flame. This flame, it seems to have trouble alighting to nothing.
I'm going to try to hit with my fist as well.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
That will hit.
Oof, that's cocked. Crazy cocked.
Gotta honor the cock.
I should have honored the cock. Yeah, that's only a 4 on my unarmed strike.
Okay. So you have noticed that you've done a significant amount of hate to this shadow.
Mercy looks down at her fist like she has never done that before and does not know what just happened.
Okay, and that brings us back around to Gellamine, who is still hiding. And past that is the shadows once again. So the shadows will continue their attacks, as they have done before, and Mercy. It is unhappy with the damage that you have dealt to it, and so it will try to run its sword through you. I believe a 21 hits.
It does.
And so you will take, and I think it's quite poetic that I'm using her own dice against her.
You are. Damn, and they did good, too.
And so you take 13 points of necrotic damage as the blade enters your chest. Its tip you can feel just at your heart. And like Ellison, there is a chill that runs through you. A chill that you are uncomfortable with. It's like poison in your veins. And you have your strength reduced by 3 points.
POV, we hit 0 and die.
Better not.
Elisande, this creature has its arm grasping your heart.
Forgot about that.
Does an 11 hit?
It literally does! This is so miserable!
So squishy.
Wizards are literally the worst! Sobbing and wizard.
Elisande, you take 12 points of necrotic damage.
Damn!
As the grasp firms and the chill increases, your body is getting colder.
Golly.
Your strength is reduced by 1 more point.
At least I have that going for me.
Anisette, the creature swings at you with its inky sword. Does a 10 hit?
Just misses without my armor.
Describe to me how you dodge this, because what comes to my mind is once again that innate repelling force that's coming from within you, quite like what happened at the beginning.
Okay.
If you understand.
No, I don't entirely know what that's about. But yeah, I mean, that works for me. Like, maybe specifically, I'm kind of picturing the bandages kind of acted like a shield before. So I think instinctively she puts her both arms up to block herself and just sort of pushes the sword blade to the side as it comes in and ducks under it with the flats of her arms.
Fantastic. And so that brings us back around to Elisande.
Well, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm gonna fire him again. Also, just for the record, this is Agonizer's Scorcher. I didn't say it earlier. But anyway, could you pretty please make a dex save again?
Sure. And are you hitting both of them again?
Yes, please.
Okay. I believe they both pass.
Yeah.
They
You
take...
charge up your fire, and they are anticipating it now, so they try to turn into amorphous blobs and slink out of the way.
So they both take 9 damage. Are they looking dead yet?
One of them does not have a lot going for it anymore.
Is that the one that has its hand on my heart? That's what we need to know.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so the one that does have its hand on my heart is the one that looks dead, or no?
Yes.
Okay, Anisette, darling, if you don't mind hitting this one, I fear I may pass out soon. And as much as we dislike each other, I am more useful alive, I swear.
As the sword strikes are coming at her, she just goes, "Okay, I'll try."
Thank you, darling. And that's the end of her turn.
Speaking of Anisette, it is your turn.
As I'm sort of ducking under that sword blade, the one of them is next to me, and the other one is going after Anisette. Would I be able to, like, circle the one that's going after me without leaving its threatened range?
I believe so, yes.
I'd like to do that to the center of the room. And is the room the right size that I can get them within 10 feet of me, but not my allies?
You could not get Elisande out of the 10 feet without taking an opportunity attack from the shadows.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take that opportunity attack, actually. If I can still move, but it's just them within the 10 feet and not Alessandra, I'll take that movement and take the opportunity attack.
So the one with the sword is trying to keep you here as it slashes across your neck. Does a 16 hit?
Absolutely.
And so a chill goes across your neck as it grazes you for 5 points of necrotic damage, and your strength is reduced by 2 points.
Okay. I will cast, as soon as I'm in the right place for it, and I've paced it out, she's gonna clap her hands together, and the tendril that is on the left arm will coil between both of them and turn black, and this sort of chasm appears around her, and these black tendrils, sort of writhing and horrible, sputter outwards and flick about and bash all of the shadows and try and grip them and crush them. And I'm going to cast Arms of Hadar. They each need to make a strength saving throw. Otherwise, they'll take 2d6 necrotic, and they can't take reactions as the tendrils sort of hinder them.
Okay. What's your spell save DC?
It's 13.
So they both fail, and your tentacle wraps around them to prevent them from taking their reactions, to prevent them from swinging at you.
Oh, could I not get is the room so big that I couldn't get the one that's attacking Mercy as well? Or is it just these two?
Oh, you should be able to, yes.
Okay.
Yes, you get all
Hell
three.
yeah, okay.
And so your tentacle does wrap around them, but it's not quite the reaction you were looking for, as it doesn't seem to harm them as much as just keep them there slower.
That is 9 points of necrotic damage to each of them.
Okay.
And when that happens, I'm just going to shout, run! Because they can't take opportunity attack, so I'm thinking we just get the fuck out of here and regroup.
That is a good idea.
None of them fall, and they are all still up.
I'll, again, just slash at the one that's coming after me, because I don't have anything else to do with my bonus action. That is a 14 to hit.
A 14 will hit.
2 points.
So, I will say, they are all looking to you. Like, there is not much left to their darkness. And so that brings us from Anisette to Mercy. It is your turn.
So they cannot take reactions, correct?
They cannot take reactions.
Okay. And we're running?
You could hit them and run. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to Step of the Wind, spend a key point. I'm out of key points, but this will give me a dash action and double my jump. And I'm going to pick up the prince. How much is that going to hinder my speed?
I'll say it halves your speed.
Halves my speed. Okay. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. I'm going to pick him up. And then with my 40 speed, because it was double the 80, and then halved back down, so I have 40 feet of movement.
So you can definitely get out into the hallway.
My jump also gets doubled, so if I hit the stairs, I can jump all the way down.
Yeah, you can probably get down to the stairs.
Okay. I mean, if I think I can jump all the way down the stairs without hurting myself, tuck and roll holding the prince.
I don't think you could do it, but like not with the prince if it was by yourself.
Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Is that your turn?
Pretty much. Can I hit one on the way out?
I mean, yeah, you've got an attack.
Is that gonna slow me down?
No, well, you did Step of the Wind. Is that an action?
It's an action.
Then you only have a bonus
that
action.
One that's almost dead. As you're running out, you can just like spin kick it through the doorway.
I'm gonna hold the kid in my arms. Bam. Okay, please hit. Hits.
Okay. Which one was this? Was this the one that was threatening you?
This is the one that is the lowest. So the one closest to the door.
Okay.
That's only gonna be 4 bludgeoning damage.
As you are walking out, you turn, and as a little extra fuck you, you raise your leg and kick it. And the form of the elf stays and the shadow falls behind before they both disappear. Think like the scene in Doctor Strange where his astral form is kicked out.
Yeah, okay, so it's astral. So these are projections.
And it comes back together before it fades away.
Do I get the indication from that there might be someone nearby projecting the shadows?
It's a possibility. You can make an Arcana check.
Okay. It's that good. That's a 5.
You're not sure. On Gelamine's turn, he clutches you and allows himself to be taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us back around to the shadows. They need to take the fire damage, right?
Yeah. Well, they make a con save.
Okay. So this is the one that was threatening you. He passes.
Passes, nat 20.
So he is no longer on fire. Does he take the damage this turn?
No.
Okay.
Successful save, spell ends.
Okay. So he will go back out towards Anisette and Elisande. Given there is already one on Anisette, he will try to reach into Elisande. That is a hit. Elisande, you take 8 points of necrotic damage.
Yeah, so she's unconscious.
Shit.
Fuck.
A chill freezes up you, and your red skin becomes pale.
Oh, she's pink.
And Anisette, you witness Elisande. Her hair stops smoking. She is cold and falls to the ground. And now, Anisette, the one next to you will attack with its sword. So that is a 19. I believe that hits.
Yeah, it hits.
Okay. It does 10 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, okay.
Your strength drops by another 3 points. The sword slashes across you again, and the bandages seem to tear around darkness. The chill fills your body, icy cold.
I'm not looking too hot.
Mm-hmm.
Elisande is unconscious, which makes it your turn.
I'm gonna... That spectral chasm that the tendrils came out of is still there, and she just doubles down and claps again and shouts in some eldritch word that makes no sense to us, and the tendrils will come back again. I'll just go again with Arms of Hadar. So that's 2 strength saves.
Okay. Both of them fail.
Okay. Perfect. Yes, okay, that's pretty good. 11 points of necrotic damage and no reactions.
Nothing happens.
How so?
You don't know.
So they don't take the damage from necrotic?
They do not fall.
Okay. But they can't take reactions.
No reactions still?
But they cannot take reactions.
Okay.
Oh, Elisande, I need a death save from you.
Duh.
Okay, perfect.
I forgot.
Nat 20. Nat 20.
8. Wait, do I add con?
It would be 8 plus Constitution.
10.
Yeah.
I pass.
Thank fuck.
Let's
I'm gonna say
go.
pass.
You're... Got your ass. You thought you could kill me. I'm just gonna take a nap.
You can mark 1 successful save.
You're... I know that's right.
Anisette, is that your turn?
What else can I do?
Run.
What's your constitution, Alessandra? Do you have a good con?
I mean, it's +2.
+2. I'm gonna run. If I keep fighting, if I keep trying to get Alessandra out of there, I'm gonna go down 2, and then that's 2 people down, so I'm just gonna book it.
I honestly can't blame you. Gotta put yourself first, Pookie.
Alright, I will get out of there. I don't have if I had a health potion or something, I could try and... But I don't. I don't really have anything on me.
You run.
Yeah.
What is your movement speed?
30 feet. As I'm going, I'll take a slash at whichever one's more injured with my dagger. Just 'cause.
Okay.
12.
12 does hit.
Hell yeah, okay. 2 points of piercing damage. That D4 can piss off.
So you're swinging at it with a dagger?
Yeah, that's the best I got.
You slash at what would be this shadow's throat. And you see the visage of an elf grasp at where it would have been cut. And it fades away, leaving just the one.
As it does that, I just sort of lean in and go, fuck you.
And you begin running. And that brings us back to Mercy. It is your turn. You do not know what has happened to Elisande.
But I see, I'm assuming, that Anisette was able to run out into the hall.
You see Anisette run out behind you.
I'm gonna ask her how many are left.
1, but Alessandra is down.
Can I pass the prince to Anisette and then get into the doorway, but not in hitting range, and throw my darts at them?
So you hand off the prince and you move back to the door. You see Elisande unconscious on the floor, pale. Paler than you've ever seen her before. And you've seen her quite pale from when you've had to nurse her back to health just the day prior. She is almost lifeless on the ground.
How's this last shadow looking?
As far as amorphous shadows go, you think it's pretty fucked up.
That hits. Gonna hit it with one of my darts. 8 points of damage. Piercing.
Yes.
You throw the dart, and it collides with its chest. And as it passes through it, the figure of the elf follows the dart to the wall, pinned there, before it looks up at you and fades away.
Huh.
Elisande, give me a death save.
Of course. Oh. 16. I just can't stop
You
winning.
pass.
I don't know what to say. I'm a survivor. I do my best work unconscious.
I'm gonna kneel down and try to stabilize her, if I can.
Okay, make a medicine check.
17.
I believe that'll do it.
16.
I believe that'll do it. So, Elisande, you are stabilized and you're back to 0, but you're not awake.
That's fine. Is our strength all still fucky?
Oh, yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah. I assume so till long rest, but...
I mean, I was just gonna ask, you know.
Yes. You still feel waned.
That just means I'll have a better night's sleep.
When I hear the commotion happening and nothing kind of continue, I'll just call out and ask, are they dead?
They're dead.
Alessandra, is she all right?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll enter again.
So, Gelamine is frightened.
That's fair.
He is petrified. He cannot speak. And you have this moment to gather yourselves and talk amongst each other about what has just happened.
What the fresh fuck were those things?
I don't know. What should we do now? Do we stay here? We need rest. We could go get the innkeeper, tell them what happened, get some more eyes off of us.
Whatever.
But we all need healing and rest.
How did they find him?
I don't know.
My idea of mages sending things after him, or perhaps even watching us right now with magic, is starting to look good to me.
I think you're right. They clearly know where we are.
I don't know where we could necessarily go that they won't send those things after us, but magic like that is pricey. They might not be able to do it again tonight. And if it was some sort of hit squad, then it might take them time to realize that they hadn't been successful. If nothing else, I suggest we all stay in the same room tonight.
Definitely. We can't call guards.
No, we can't.
Or anyone, because they'll know. The innkeeper probably would too.
Where else could we stay if not this?
The storm has faltered, and it is less wrathful than it was before. However, it is 3 a.m., and nobody is awake to receive you.
There's no one around to help us now. And we don't have the time or strength to get back to Moonscar where we would have help.
Also, if these things, like I was thinking earlier, if these things are following him wherever he goes, your protection of Moonscar may be compromised if these things follow him there.
I'm willing to risk that. But I don't think we can go there tonight.
No. Rest here, wait for daybreak, catch our breath, then figure out something to do.
I think that's our only option.
So you rest here.
We rest here, but one thing I will do is move a bunch of lanterns and candles into this room and snap my fingers and light them all. We're not sleeping in the dark tonight.
Yeah.
The night passes by without further incident, and you may have nightmares of what has happened before, what happened tonight, but you wake up in the morning. It's around 6 a.m. and you've all had a long rest. You wake up peacefully. Gellamine is drawing. It is a picture of his dad. And as you go downstairs, you pack your things, you're ready to leave. You overhear a couple of patrons. I think it's crazy that the boy hadn't been found yet. I figured him dead with the king. They'll done have give it to the regent in 2 weeks if he hadn't been found by then. Oh, gods above, I hope nae. I can barely afford the travel. And he's done hell-bent on fighting the tree folk again. And their conversation trails off into taxes and other politics. And that leaves you at the door at the tavern, ready to set out on the next part of your journey. And that is where we will end for tonight. That was Alex Lee as Mercy Aramon, Emily Gerald as Elisanda Evercrest, Ronan Fox Critchley as Anisette Ponder, and Michael Isaac Vonberg as The World. From the Crystal Ball was scored by me, Isaac Vonberg, and sound designed by Alex Lee, with additional music courtesy of Epidemic Sound. For more of the show, join us on Patreon, where for just $5 a month you can access episode talkbacks, bloopers, exclusive one-shots, and all sorts of bonus content. You can find us at From the Crystal Ball on social media and at our website, www.fromthecrystalball.com. And finally, thank you for listening.